Good morning, everybody. Mike Vacchi, Princetontrader.com, here with your Wednesday morning pre-market webcast. Okay, so let's talk about the daily chart real quick, and then we'll hop over on the hourly. Yesterday, pretty wide-ranging day. Nice way to start 2017. It was a nice two-sided trade, about 20 handles worth in the room. It was nice. Nice way to start the year, nice way to start the week, nice way to come off the holiday. So where does that leave us now? Well, you can see that the Bollinger Bands here on the daily chart are starting to get tight again. They're starting to pinch in. A lot of that has to do with a lot of flatlining over the course of the holiday. And the battle that we've had for the last 1, 2, 3, going on 4 sessions now, this battle over the daily mid-band, which is your green line here, comes in at about 22.51.75 today. And we're currently trading 57. We've been down into that area in the overnight. It's held a support. The bears tried to take out both the daily mid-band as well as the weekly pivot yesterday. They were able to take them out. They were able to trade below them. But as you can see here on the hourly chart, they weren't able to hold it. You had a big rally into the close. We open up for the next Globex session. This dotted line represents the daily pivot in the area of 2250s. That area holds, and we start this grind higher, okay? The bulls do need another higher high. Yesterday's high came in at 59.5. We've traded as high as 58.75 in this Globex session. I think if you do get a higher high, it opens up a move back to the old range top up at 67.5. The bears want to hold this in. They want to get back down towards the daily pivot with an understanding that you run an imaginary line through here at about 52, and that's your daily mid-band. Below is the weekly pivot at basically 22.45. You had 1, 2, 3 hours below the weekly pivot yesterday. So we had this reaction high up off the open. That high was sold hard. The bears did what they had to do, and they had a very impressive move down here. Then they gave it up, like they do so many times. The issue is, can they get it back? Typically, historically, over the last 4, 5, 6 years, they don't get it back. And what you'll see now is you'll see weekly pivot stay support. You'll see higher lows get built upon this higher low here, down at yesterday's low at 39.5. You've got a low here that was a lower low. The bears have had a ton of opportunity in the last 2 or 3 sessions, and they just have not been able to capitalize. That's typically, it's not good news if you're the bears. So all the bulls need to do is make a higher high, get back up into 67.5, and then try to convert 69.70, and what you end up with all of a sudden is a test of the all-time highs up at 22.73. I think January is going to be very two-sided. I think the trading ranges are going to be fantastic. I think the volatility is going to be fantastic. January usually is. And part of what you saw yesterday was the potential two-sidedness of the market. So we need to keep an eye on the downside. I would expect us to get a dip in the morning, but what this chart is telling me is that dip is going to be a buy. Now, as we look down the road, back on the daily chart real quick, with the bands compressing as they are, as we get into late this week, into early next week, if that pattern continues, I would expect to get band compression, and then as we get later in the month, expansion. Whether that expansion is to the upside or the downside remains to be seen. Your Bollinger Bandwidth is at 2.24. It's tight. It's not epic. We're not, sub 1.5. It's not as tight as it got back in the summertime, where it basically got tight and stayed tight for 3 months. That was, that was unprecedented, type of compression, and it basically compressed everybody, out of the market. And, just when people get out of the market is when things start to get volatile again and things start to work real well. So I'll be keeping an eye on that. I'll be keeping an eye on the daily pivot and the weekly pivot, and certainly keeping an eye on 70 to 73 up above. Okay, that's all I've got. Follow us on Twitter at Princetontrader. Come check out our website, Princetontrader.com, and come take a free trial in our chat room. I'll be back tomorrow morning with another webcast. Trade 'em well, everybody.